Alright, so I've had this carbon fiber sunroof delete panel from S2Rtuning from Alex for a couple months now. It's incredible quality and can't wait to put it in. Held off just because it was so cold, but this weekend I plan on tackling that. So in order to replace the sunroof and delete it, I need to first remove my front seats, which will just be some bolts in the corners, lift those out, different bracket, but similar process on the other side. Then I can go in and undo my roll cage. There's the rear, and then the fronts. I'll be able to pull the roll cage out from the driver's side of the door, and then we can get into removing the headliner. This little guy allows you to use the same bolts that are going into your seat mounts and your seats as you do for your buckles. As you can see on the other side, all of the straps are retained on the seat mount itself, whereas here one of the bolts that is holding the straps is also holding the seat in. So by getting one of these little washers, it allows it to still freely move. If you're using solid back seats on the street, you should be using your OEM 3-point. The main importance is that you should loop it through the left side belt loop. It's a T45. Pop this cap off. I just keep these hand tight because I constantly remove this when I'm at the track. Because when I'm at the track, you know, obviously I unsling this because I'm using my harnesses. This bolt pops out, and then there's just a spacer, and then you can pull that through. Now the seats are out, I was able to pull this back carpet panel off, and this allows me to pull the carpet up here back to expose the 4 nuts and bolts, and then I can undo the 4 nuts and bolts in each corner and that side as well. She's out. What a pain in the butt. I'm out of breath. Okay, so the cage is out. I did end up having to remove the seat bracket, but that's no problem. That's just 4 bolts. And then I was able to put in my Turtle Labs rear panels, delete panels. I have one that's not installed. You can see it just sitting here. But it fits in there so perfect, just like the fronts. I mean, look at this gap. Look at this gap along the top. It's perfect when I hold it up there. All right, now that the panels are in, it's time to move on to the headliner. So basically, the headliner on E36s is much improved from the E30, as you don't really need to destroy anything. There's going to be a couple Phillips screws holding these attachments in. These A-frame and your B-pillar, A-pillar, B-pillar, C-pillar guys will have to pop off. They just pop off. Just be careful. Remove all the handles. There's a cover on there. You stick a flathead screwdriver in there and pop that off, and then there'll be some Phillips screws under there. And then the headliner should come out in one piece, out the front door. Once the headliner's out, we can adjust the sunroof. Just to give you an idea, this is what it looks like with the mirror removed. 2 screws in the post, and then an electrical connector. Your light just pops out, and there's an electrical connector, and then the on-off switch for the power of your mirror, and there's an electrical connector. Just let those hang. So here's the headliner. You can see it was made 11/10/96. That might actually be October 11th. I don't know if that's November 10th or October 11th, but my birthday is November 10th, so that's kind of interesting. Not 96, I'm older than that, but you can see the headliner here is just a big piece of fiberglass, I think. And I've been told I shouldn't be handling this without gloves on, so I'll probably put some gloves on. But this is what it looks like, and mine for 200,000 miles actually looks really good. All I'm gonna do is peel it up with a heat gun, and then I'm gonna take some fabric spray and I'm just gonna re-adhere the fabric to my headliner. I'm not gonna replace it. So first things first, we need to get this, I guess, vanity panel out. And the way we do that is we put our tool in and we manually crank it just so that it starts to go back. And I'll show you what that means on the outside. So we're going counterclockwise and just wait for the lid to drop like that. And then in theory, we should be able to slide this panel back. Push this panel all the way back. This exposes these nuts, and we're gonna go ahead and undo them. Okay, now that those 3 nuts are removed, we're gonna go ahead and put our tool back in and go clockwise, fully tilt the rear up of your sunroof, and we're gonna go until it exposes one of the final screws that we need to remove. It's hard to see, but it's there. This isn't a super thorough DIY, I'm more just showing you the process, so I'm not getting every step, but this is an important one. Once you get the screw out, it goes through that hole right there. Just get a flat head and push it against, so you can see where I scraped it. Push it against this metal guy, push it towards the outside of the car, and it will release the sunroof, and then you can remove it. It's just a fail-safe. Next job is to get the entire cassette out and the motor. So there are a couple screws on the front that we're going to remove, some more screws in the back and along the sides, and there's also a few guys on the top. This is important. There are spacers that come on there. Hopefully they don't fall out for you. You can see they're adjustable. Oh! I was gonna say I can't seem to slide it out, but I just needed to use a little bit more force. Okay, so we're actually making good progress. It's only been like 4 hours since I started yesterday. Next thing we need to do is remove this. So here's my test fit. It fits basically perfectly. What I'm gonna do is find something long enough that I can put pressure in the corners up for when I'm letting the silicone dry, just to get this as flush as possible. And all of the holes, except for the 4 in the back, use the OEM screws that we removed, which is nice. For these 4, I'm just going to use some self-tapping screws, the same that I used to install these panels. This guy's never coming out. I don't need riv nuts. Okay, I got tape on the panel and then tape on the roof. Alright, so I got some Dynaflex Ultra black sealant. I'm basically going to put a bunch, like super thick, all the way around, and then press it up into the hole. Throw some fasteners on there. Try to support it from the bottom with various things. We'll see what works, and then I will seal it from the top. So it's probably too much, but I erred on the side of too much. Okay, so it's been about an hour. I just put one more thin coat on there on the top, removed the struts from the inside, and I'm gonna put my headliner back in somehow. All right, so the headliner is back in. I'm just going to vacuum all this stuff up, and then it's time to throw the cage back in. Alright, so everything's finished. It's the next day. The sun is out. Got the rear panels in, front panels. I'm loving everything. Here's the carbon fiber sunroof panel. Got rid of the moon roof / sunroof, and now I got like a starry night roof. This is what it looks like from the top. It's super shiny. But yeah, the weave looks really good. And I'm super happy with it.